Okay, I have a following question. See? So here, I asked you, you can take your feet out and then fall forward, or start here, fall forward and reach back. Would it be the same?
The end position is the same. So this is, hold on.
So how would I set myself up here?
Because you asked a question that comes down to you're re-ingraining a habit.
Yeah, I want to re-ingrain the trigger pull.
So there's a concept here.
Because I'm probably triggering with this instead of with the hinge, you know, and I'm probably trying to hinge from my lumbar. No, I just want to ask, Jack, like, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to get to. Like, I want to see where is it that I start losing it up to get the space.
So, wall work, what's the focus?
Build strength and
In the, what do we focus on? Okay, so I would actually have you front facing. If I want to build, I don't want your glutes touching the wall to really build the glute strength. To me, a wall is isometric. It's foot control, outside of the hips, and then upper spine.
Okay.
And then once I figure that out, now I want to see if you can hold that same position. And now this is no longer touching something, so you don't have the ability to push into it.
Yeah.
It's not there, so it requires you to control it. And now you can really build more strength in the glute. Right? That's going to be much harder that way than if you got crunch. So that's where I think wall work for you should be here. Okay? And if you notice, the first thing I taught was your butt on the wall. The next thing I teach is, alright, because this is a much unsafer version. If I'm working with a 90-year-old grandma, I don't want to do this first. I want to make sure we got poles or a walker here. And then I'm maybe to the side with my hand on her hip. And then I'm going to see if she can put her butt on the wall, and she's going to be in her heels, and then I'll say, okay, can you bring the toes up? Straight down, then we rearrange our feet and get them more narrow. More narrow makes it harder to hold that position, right? And if you're like, ooh, my foot hurts doing that, sweet, let's widen it up. Which is why you'll see in you got a foot out. Why? Because you don't have control in that foot, in that column. So as you start to build control, that can happen here. That can happen here, and that especially happens when you're only in that column. But you don't want to do that because you want to release it and make sure that the open chain, which is what happens when it's going to land on the ground, you've got to re-ingrain this, and then see if you can rotate around the hip. Make sure you've got all of the full range of control.
Why do you think he's rotating? I want to explain to Phillip. What is the train of thought when Cody finds a problem? Where does his thoughts go? How we're supposed to move?
First and foremost, I want to see if that joint's lubricated. 100%.
100%. But
if it's not lubricated, I don't need to be putting weight on it.
But what I want to say is that, yeah, you're lubricating, but why moving your hips like that? You know, I can lubricate like this. Look, I could lubricate like this. But why is he doing it like that? Because he is taking his way of thinking and anatomy knowledge and saying, what is the athlete doing when he's in this column before he's in this column? Or what is he doing when he's leaving this column? So that's what he's thinking. See? So when you're loading this side, you're strengthening. So when you land in this side from running or walking, you have strength and you are aligned. See? So that's what he's looking. He's looking for you to have chest. So now, we want to work here.
All the pressure is now.
So here, if I do this, look at my hip. So it did this, and this is me stepping here. See? So what we're doing is not staying in that position where we're here. Okay? And then here.
There's time under tension, which I think explains itself, right? How much time can you spend in that position? And that can quickly be detrimental in a chair. And then there's transitions, which is where I was telling you earlier, like, all right, the reverse chain mechanism. When you asked about, do I put my butt on the wall or do I walk away from it? Or do I walk away and put my butt back? away and putting your butt back, if you do it right, is going to be much harder. Because if you lose your balance, you're not really under control. But now we're in the same position, but I missed out on all of that transition that's there. And then the easier method is put my butt on the wall, I got a crutch, and walk away from it. So the more effective way to do it, the higher skilled way to do it, is to walk away and can I get my butt back and touch it 2 pounds? Okay, can I apply more force? 6 pounds. Can I apply way more force? 10 pounds, right? Or I'm gonna put 10 pounds of pressure and do this. Which one's more effective? Sitting in 10 pounds and applying the shape, or getting here and applying the 10 pounds slowly? And that's where the skill of the brain and the motor pattern comes in. So facing the wall is where you're catching yourself, right? That's how I teach it. I want you to learn that that's the space. But then, can you do it with your hand just hover? Without that crutch? I remove that stimulus, that help, and you just hover there, and that's when you're gonna go, wow. Alright, that's what's the most beneficial zone for you. Which is we did kind of in the kneeling and this, and then the standing. When we did that, you're feeling those reaction responses. That's your brain building a habit. And you won't build that habit if you don't ever get away from just an isometric hold. And a lot of people get stuck with, well, I've been doing this for 6 months and I don't run any faster. Right? Well, you never learned how it really transitions. It's not
dynamic.
It's not here, it's not dynamic. And that's the trap that a lot of people fall into. They get stagnant because this will bring you pain relief. Once you're out of pain, it's time to change some things, because if you're a tennis player, now we need to apply to tennis. If you're not a tennis player, you're a CEO. You're a CEO and you're not going to retire for 10 years and the only thing you get to do is work. Well, then let's just hit you with a wall work, bro. Like, you're not gonna really want to do any of this. Why? Right? So tying things into a habit, tying things into an interest, which is why I say wear your hobbies. Then I know I'm not going to talk about baseball. I don't need to be talking about football unless it relates to the serve, which it does. But at the same time, I'll just talk about the serve. Right? This action to me is also, oh shit, I missed that fish.
And
I'm real good at that.
But when you throw a cast, it's not the same.